Good afternoon, students. We'll continue with our chapter 5. The last topic or the last lecture we had completed with stable storage. Now we'll be starting with the new topic, that is clocks. Now clock here is clock hardware, how your clock hardware works at the back end. Now to run that hardware, or on what dependent hardware it is running, there is dependency of clock software. So first we'll be going with clock hardware. Clock contains crystal clocks containing crystal oscillator, a counter and a holding register. So a temporary register will be running on the memory for running the clock, a counter to set every time a increasing number, and an oscillator who will run back all the values for this clock. A quartz crystal under tension produce a periodic signal for every high accurateness, usually in the range of several hundred megahertz to a few gigahertz depending on the crystal chosen. So depending on the crystal which is chosen, on that it will counter 100 of megahertz and a few gigahertz on the crystal chosen for a periodic signal for high accurateness. This base signal can be multiplied by a smaller integer to get frequencies up to several gigahertz and more than this. Computer contains at least one circuit, so every computer will contain one circuit that then produce synchronizing signal to given many circuits in the computer. So with these ranging clock hardware, it will give you a identification signal for the synchronization method. This synchronizing signal is fed into the counter to make it count down to 0. So every time when one process is done, it will again come back to 0. When the counter gets 0, it causes CPU interrupt. So if it causes 0, there is interrupt in the CPU processing. Shows programmable clock. So this is programmable clock, not your normal clock. This clock has several modes of operation. So there are several modes of operation for this clock. The first one is one shot mode and second one is the square wave mode. So first one is one shot mode. So a counter is decremented at each pulse. Each pulse it will get decremented, that is decrease, and holding registers is used to load the counter. To increase the counter, it is done from the registers. Next is the clock software. So typical duties of a clock driver. To run that clock software, you require a driver, and that is clock driver. And clock driver, as interrupts are generated by clock hardware, the other things regarding the time is handled by the clock software called the clock driver. So as interrupts are handled or generated by clock hardware, other things related to the clock are done by clock software and are called as clock driver. So what are the functions or duties carried out by the clock driver? Maintaining the time of the day. So day timing continuation is done by the clock software. Preventing processes from running longer than they are allowed to. So if processes are taking a lot of time, preventing them from interruptions is done by clock software. Accounting for CPU usage. If you go in the CPU processing details, your CPU usage of that particular thing can also be calculated. You can see that, visualize that. Handling the alarm system call made by the user processes. Alarm systems are also being captured. Providing watchdog timers for parts of the system. For system timings, watchdog timer is being set. Doing profiling, monitoring and statistic gathering can also be done using clock software. So this is daytime in ticks, that is 64 bits. Time of a day in seconds, in current 6 seconds. Counter in ticks. System boot time in seconds. So system booting time also is being captured. So 3 ways to maintain the details of the time day, that is in normal 64 bits, 32 bits separate for seconds, and for the boot timing of the system. Then you have clock header, current time and the next signal for simulating the multiple timers with single clock. So there are multiple timers set inside the system. For simulating everything together, you require such processing clock software. Then what are soft timers? Soft timers are apart from many main system clocks. So without any system clock, like clock software, you have some another system clock. Many machines have second programmable clock. So second programmable means application programmable, and this second timer is used for application specific purpose. For normal applications which are running on the system, you require a clock, and there is no trouble using provided the interrupt frequency is low. Even if the interrupt frequency is low, even if we can go for soft timers. If frequency of this application specific timer is high, then problems need to be faced. If soft timers have a high frequency, then there can be a problem faced for the interruption. So soft timers stand or fall with the rate at which kernel entries are made for the other reasons. The reasons include, soft timers, why they are used? For the reasons, they include system calls, TLB misses, page faults, IO interrupts, and the CPU going idle. That time the soft timers are used. And soft timer interrupts are avoided due to soft timers. Interrupts can be avoided using soft timers. As an alternative, when the kernel is running to carry out any task, just before it returns to the user mode, it verifies the real time clock to check if soft timer has expired. If kernel is moving again back to the user mode, that time it will check that the soft timer has expired, so that interrupt solution has been done. Next is keyboard software, that is now the user interfaces devices, that is keyboard software. Keyboard software has the functions like you have shortcuts like your Control A, Alt A, then Control Alt A, all these things are there. Likewise, the shortcuts are used for in the ASCII code. Scan code is not a ASCII code, it's a different code. So the IO register holds scan code, which is a key number. So every key number will have a scan code, and scan code is not your ASCII code. Key numbers can be represented by 7 bits of normal keyboard contains less than 128 keys. So 128 less than 128 keys characters can be represented in a 7 bits normal keyboard. Scan code of A key is 30. So A key will have scan code 30. When this key is struck, when you press this key, this scan code value will put into the IO register. It will be moved to the register. Driver can interpret whether it's lowercase, uppercase, then Control A or Alt A or some another combinations. The driver will interpret what the combination is. The driver can tell these which key has been struck but yet not released. If you press it with shift, then if you have not released it, then also driver can tell that. It has adequate information to carry out the job. So adequate information will be there with the driver for carrying out, that is Control H is for erase, that is backspace one character. Control U is for erase entire line being typed, that is kill. So these are the POSIX names which are identified by the system, so that your task completion can be done in the conical mode. Then the next one is output software, text windows. Output software now here means text windows is the first type. So text windows is escape N A, that is move N lines up, move N lines down when you press the arrow keys. So ANSI standard escape sequences are accepted by this. So escape plus A represents move up, move down. So certain shortcuts are been there. The program sends characters to the current window open, and when they are displayed, their line is treated as a block of characters and written in one system call. Screen can be updated in complex ways. So there are certain n number of levels through these shortcuts how we can use these ASCII escape characters for doing the parameters, and what are their actual functions which are given in this table. The next is the X window system. What is the X window system? How your Windows actual server works with your client, that is the remote machines, is being provided in this diagram, that is X server and X client. For every server you will have a client, that is being shown here. So type of messages between client and server, drawing commands from program to workstation, replies by workstation to program queries, keyboard, mouse and other event announcements, and error messages. So what do they do? Communication between client and server. That is, if my client is asking for a request, it will respond with that request. Then if there is the usage of mouse, any of the hardware, inform it to the server. Then next is, if error occurs, server will inform the client, then wait, your function is being performed. So these are the tasks done in the Windows system. So this is the program which is being performed for Windows system. Then next is the graphical interface. Your graphical interface is your normal graphic interface displayed in number of pixels to identify and a catchy interface. Your graphical interface is a catchy interface with all the colorful pixels into it. So programmable language for graphical user interface is this, which is being programmed over. So each and every graphic is in one pixel defined. So collection of pixels will be there over a graphic. Bit mapping is done, that is copying bitmaps using bit by bit. Every bit will be calculated before and after for catching over your text or from the window 1 to 2. Bit mapping means analyzing each and every bit to show the resource. As well as bit mapping is also done for graphical device interface with the window, that is very catchy, you can say colorful RGB formats are used for bit mapping. As well as device context should be easily readable, for that also we do copying of bitmaps. Then fonts, different fonts are being used over the graphic, for that is formats are being applied, fonts, different fonts are there, their sizes are different. Each and every point, you can see this PT, that is points are increased over your graphic, that is your font, so that the increment of your font can be look, that is outline can be shown. Then there is hardware issues. Hardware issues come under power management. So hardware issues are rechargeable battery can store more energy to power a notebook for few hours. So rechargeable battery, if you externally go and see, you can externally charge it. Likewise, there are certain issues with CPU, memory and IO device also. Multiple states of sleeping and hibernating, that is hibernating means when two systems are working together, system issues will be there with hardware. So how to solve that? So these are the solutions, or we can say calculations, which are done in 1994 and 1998. With this we'll stop here for this topic. The next topic will continue in the next lecture. Thank you.